Feeling lost in the maze of CPS? Desperate to get your child back? You're not alone. Countless parents face the heart-wrenching reality of family separation. The legal system can be overwhelming, but there's hope.
Now, here's the key. Okay, that's how you win a 6-month hearing.
Thank you.
If you do all of those things, you're going to blow your social worker's mind, you're going to blow your attorney's mind, and you're going to blow away the judge.
With attorney Vincent W. Davis, a dedicated legal expert with 39 years of experience, committed to helping families like yours. Join his weekly live Q&A on Zoom, where you can ask your burning questions about CPS cases. Get the knowledge and strategies you need to fight for your child's return.
Alrighty, good evening everyone. This is a question and answer session for school, SKOOL, and this is the CPS school.
Are you ready to take control of your family's future? Join our school community for free to access weekly live Q&A sessions, or participate as a one-time guest. Don't let fear hold you back. Take the first step towards reuniting your family. Join us now.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Bob Pace, and if you've found my podcast, To Fight CPS with Bob Pace and Save Our Children, I am really give you a warm welcome because CPS has really been hard. It has really been hard. I have trying to fix my computer, and then if it's a little bit shakiness or fuzziness or my typing, I have yet to figure out what it was. I thought it was one of my keys, my space bar, and so I hooked up a mechanical gaming keyboard, and it seems to be working a little bit. So we'll go see how it goes. Now, I know that all of you are probably hoping to find the answer to your CPS issue. It's a hard thing to be in. You just heard from Vincent Davis, my attorney, who talked about helping you all. He has like 39 years of experience of fighting CPS. He is a family juvenile dependency attorney. That's what you need to find. That's the kind of attorney you need to fight CPS, a juvenile family dependency attorney. He's also a trial attorney, and I want to thank him for helping people out there. He gives a lot of his free time. He was once a foster kid himself, so he knows the experience. Now, who am I? I'm a loving father with 6 children and 42 years of marriage experience. I'm here to help you to relate to what happened to me when my kids were taken from us when they should not have been taken from us. It's a sad state when this entity shows up to your door or you meet with them or talk with them. And I didn't know the things that I should have known. Now, who is CPS? I keep using the letters. I call it the Child Protection System. Every state, even around the world, it's easily known as CPS, but some states like to make it confusing and give different names. Like in Arizona's Department of Children's Services, DCS. Even in California with 2 counties side by side, it's different. LA County is Department of Family and Children's Services. But next door, Orange County is the Child Protection Services. So when I say CPS, I mean all the NDs are found in all the counties and all the states and all the countries. And you hear me keep talking about countries because this is a worldwide podcast. I've had people from other countries, a total of about 18 countries now, that have talked on the show, paid for long distance, and told me about their story. So we're here to help everybody. I consider everybody in this room like a family. You come together with something we all have in common. We all had troubles with CPS, understanding them, fighting them, trying to figure it out. It's very complex. And my first rule that I have is you always need an attorney to fight them. Now, a lot of you say, well, I got a court-appointed attorney or a public defender. Well, they're not going to guarantee that they'll fight for you because they are paid by the child protection system. They work for the child protection system. They have a caseload of 30 or more clients, so they don't even have time for you. They're not going to meet at your home. They're not going to come out to see you. You're not going to be able to come to the office. The only time you'll see them is at the hearing in court. And that's not enough time to plan or strategize. You need to sit down with an attorney and strategize. Somebody like Mr. Davis. Now, I have the phone number up on the screen. If you want to retain a first-class attorney, it's 888-888-6582. It's the law offices of Vincent W. Davis. If you need other legal matters like divorce, real estate issues, immigration, criminal, any legal matter you need, he's got somebody that can help you. It's a great law firm. It's located out in Arcadia. He has cases in Riverside, San Bernardino, LA County, Orange County, even Northern California at Merced County and Shasta County. He has a case in Oklahoma. He goes to other states to help other people. So he's a pit bull of an attorney. And he knows how to win and get your children back. He has a proven track record. He also has done civil lawsuits. When your case is closed, you can sue CPS for violation of your Constitution or civil rights. Also, like in my case, my social worker lied on the stand. She committed perjury, and Vincent very cleverly caught her doing so. But that had a negative result because she retaliated, and she told her 12-year-old daughter how to emancipate from the parents, meaning in California, if you're 12 or older, you can emancipate from your parents for any reason. It's so sad. It's so sad. But, I've been fighting him for 15 years. And luckily, my 3 older children were not living at the home when CPS came and stole. They did. They trafficked my children into foster care. They took them without any kind of rationality, meaning that they weren't in danger at home. Each child had their own bedroom, own bathroom. It was a beautiful home. One child went to private school. The other 2 went to other schools that were good. And I was driving them. My wife would drive them. We shared, bringing up the kids. They're involved in Boy Scouts and AYSO soccer. Other activities were very much integrated in their schools. They all were doing A's and B's. And they were in the STEM program, the science, technology, engineering, math classes. And so they're really good. Now, I just saw Cruel come in. That is that's her handle on Facebook, but her name is Felicia. Good morning, Felicia. I forgot where you're from. If you could tell me your city and state, that'd be great. I'm glad to see you here this bright and early morning. As people come in, I consider you people my family. I want to help you. All my life, all my years of marriage has been to protect my family, to provide for my family, to give them what their needs. Unfortunately, hold on one second. The light behind me is on. I need to turn it off. There, hopefully. That is better. I still get a white background from my screen there. Okay. Oxnard, California. Now remember, yes, Felicia. Ventura County, yeah. Oxnard, California is along the coast. Ventura County is north of Los Angeles before you get to Santa Barbara. It's a beautiful county. Anyway, I'm here to help you all with your questions. There are several ways you can interact with this podcast. One is by joining me here and listening and taking notes. You can also do emojis, like thumbs up, smiley faces, hearts, and then you can send me stars. Also, please check below if you want to follow me and you want to be notified, check the notification button so when I'm on, stuff like that. Yep, Felicia says Christmas is coming up. I want more than anything to see my babies. I know Christmas is a time to be with family. I'll be there with you on Christmas Eve. I've not missed a show. I'm on twice a day, 14 days a week. I come on at 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time, and again on at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm in California. Surf City, USA is where I'm at, 3 blocks from the beach. Not too far from the office in LA. It's a good hour and a half drive there, but we have freeways that take us there. But yeah, Christmas is hard for me this time of year. Just like Thanksgiving, for the first Thanksgiving, I didn't hear from my family really. Our 2 boys, I have 3 boys, one older, but the other 2 boys are still living at home. They decided to go to be with their sister, who is 22, who divorced us when she was 12 at the urgent of the social care worker, the CPS worker. It was bad. My case was really, really bad. But I'm not here to talk about my case. I'm here to help you all answer your questions, your concerns, how you can get your kids back, how to find an attorney, how to organize your paperwork, how to say no to social workers and police, how to not answer the door, how not to let them in your home or search. Hi, Tessa. Welcome, Tessa. Glad to see you again. It's so nice to have same familiar faces come back. But Christmas is when we need to be together. Now, Felicia says her caregivers, my dad and his wife, has shut me out since before my rights were terminated. Oh, boy. That's another hard thing. And sometimes when parents turn against their children or vice versa. Hi, Pink. I think you've been on before. Tessa, can you tell me where you're from again, please? I'm going to be here until I get my babies home. I'm glad, Tessa, because I want to help you get your babies home. Yes, you too, Pink. And where are you from, Pink? I forgot. I'm not very good at remembering all locations. We have Cruel, who is Felicia, from Ventura County. She's from Oxnard, California. And you're from Allegan, Michigan. Welcome, Pink. And so I'm here. This is a place you'll find me twice a day, as I said. And Tessa's from Shasta County. Have a meeting with my attorney. May key points I should remember. Well, yeah, it's very important when you meet with your attorney, and I'm glad you're able to meet with an attorney. The main thing is a plan of attack, a plan of how you're going to get your kids back. Now, if there's things that you've done that need to be fixed or rectified, then it's important that you get those things done as part of your plan. And your attorney is also want to be strongly representing you. Now, I know in my place in Orange County, I couldn't attend the court proceedings. My wife and I had to sit out in the halls. At first, we're using a public attorney. But it's important that you're in the court if you can be, so you can listen to see what your attorney's doing. Now, I'm going to put up cruel message there because they're getting a little bit long. One day, while my visitation was still ongoing, my stepmother and I arranged a visit in their home ahead of time. The day of, she wouldn't respond to my calls or texts. I showed up at the house. Oh boy, you showed up at the house. Let's see what else you further said. She wouldn't let me in and threatened to call the cops. She said she did, so I believed her. So I called too. Ultimately, they said they wouldn't be responding to the call because it's not there. I know the police are sometimes pretty bad. Yeah, Tessa, I know that you have seizures and you got to prove that you have seizures. That's what's preventing you from your kids, and that's sad. You need to get your own doctor to be and appear in court and testify that you have seizures. And Pink says they keep canceling my visitations. Why are they canceling your visitation? That's a ploy. They do that a lot. My same thing here was the same thing. So and Felicia says it wasn't the police's responsibility. Oh my goodness. Hi, Amanda. This is Amanda, and I know you're from St. Louis, Missouri. I have Felicia, who's from Oxnard, California, from Ventura County, in the room. I have Pink from Michigan. Let me see who else we have here. We have Testa from Shasta County in California. So we got a nice group of people here, and you all are saying what you want to say, and I'm trying to help you through each item. Now, Felicia further says, a handful of my visits were canceled by no fault of my own, and they were never made up as promised. You need to document everything that is messed up there so you can show the court. Now, I know that they're canceled for no reason. That is typical. They like to ruin parents. They like to make you not be so good about things. Now, Tessa said, I just got better from her stating that I have seizures and they can look different. Yes, I understand. You need to get the doctor to come to court to testify that you have seizures. You need to get your attorney to help you with that. Felicia further says, during more than one visit, just me and my 1-year-old and 2-year-old, they ambushed me for signatures on documents without time for review. You should never, ever be pushed into signing a document. You should have the appropriate time. and they are so notorious for pushing people. And Pink is a mother of Michigan, is mother of 4. Wow, like they have 4 beautiful children. Amanda from St. Louis, Missouri, I've been going over the paperwork for these affidavits and petitions, and I pressed get info, and it said the paperwork was modified by next user. Well, that's not good. Tessa, we have trial on January 2nd, and I have to get subpoena for my doctor and counselor. Yes, you do. You need that person to help you with your seizures. Felicia, who's cruel, one day a social worker new to me, like she never knew this person, appreciated me while I was on the playground with my babies. You got to be careful. Social workers are notorious to try to friend you and then become a bad person. And Felicia says, ask me to sign something very urgent and important for my son. When it's urgent and dealing with CPS, it's bad news. You never want to sign anything. An easy way around it says, I need to have my attorney look at this. You should always have your attorney present when you deal with CPS. You do not talk to them alone. You do not see them alone. Yes, it's going to cost time, but you have to tell the social worker that you meet at a public place so you can record them, like McDonald's or Starbucks. Don't meet at the office. Do not open your door. Do not let them in your home. Now, Amanda put down a text user. What do you mean by that, Amanda? I'm trying to understand. The public faker got mad at me due to the fact that I wanted to read over everything, so I guess I was labeled as defiant. Oh, boy. I had to think fast. How was I going to read through it thoroughly, supervise my babies, try to remain collected, and refrain from being rude to this new guy? Well, first of all, you say to your new social worker that you need time to discuss this with your attorney before you do anything. Also, this is your visitation, and you do not talk about the case. If they don't let you talk about the case, they shouldn't be talking about the case or signing paperwork or anything else. They're railroading things through you, Felicia Cruel. So I decided to take a quick picture of this document, unsigned, and signed before he ripped it out of my hands and went on his way. You know, the mistake we all make, and I did the same thing, is we talk to social workers without our attorneys present. We let them in our home without our attorneys present. We let them take our children without our attorneys present. You need to exercise your constitutional civil rights. It says if you're caught up in a legal matter, that you are allowed representation, legal representation during the proceedings. So anytime a social worker wants to talk to you, and it should not be a visitation, should not be orchestrated with signing paperwork or review. That's your time with your child. You very nicely tell them, I need to talk to my attorney. This will have to wait, and say no more. I want to enjoy my visit with my child. I cannot talk about the case. You cannot talk about the case. It works both ways. They don't want you talking about your case in front of your children. They should not be able to talk about the case in front of the children. So Felicia says, so many times during my visits, they've done this. Well, yeah, they've gone. It's really sad. I need to put up some things about this room here. When typing a message, it's very important that it's about CPS, a question or a comment, and that please show your first name, your city or county that the case was in, the state, or the country, if you're one of my 18 countries, from Bangladesh to India to Middle East to Africa to Europe, across the pond to North America, South America, and then across the Pacific to Australia, New Zealand. Those are the countries that have spoken and called in. Also try to be complete with your case. Now, to schedule an appointment, which is the third way you can interact with this podcast, this computer is just dying on me. Okay. To schedule as a guest on the show, please email our show producer at grace@vincentwdavis.com. That's one way you can be on the show and talk, is to be a guest. And I can take up to 9 guests. I have a total of 10 windows on my podcast. I'm broadcasting on YouTube using the StreamYard application. And so all you do is say, I want to be on Bob's morning show or evening show on Saturday or Sunday or Wednesday. She'll put you on there. She'll give the link to StreamYard and you put yourself on. And if you fall off, you can use the same link again. All you do is email her, grace@vincentwdavis.com. She'll take care of the rest. She'll give you the link and she'll tell you what you can do and not do. And also adjusting your mic and your so forth. She'll help you all the way. She's very helpful. She works very hard behind my show, and I want to thank her very much. Grace is. Now, the last way, the fourth way that you can interact with this podcast is call me. Now, there's my number. It's 626-698-0990. So please call me, Bob Pace, and I'll answer the phone. I use Vonage application for my phone application. So it rings to my phone. That's my direct line. Now, I'm only available during my show hours. So if you call before my show hours or after my show hours, I can't talk to you. So it's important that you talk. Now, by talking or being a guest on my show, you'll be given a free 15-minute consultation, a private consultation with Mr. Davis on Zoom. Now, that is really good because you can talk about your case for 15 minutes, all free. And he'll go over everything about your case. So whether you're a guest or whether you call my phone, you get a free 15-minute consultation. Now, if you want to talk longer to Vincent Davis, he'll do 30 minutes for $60. All you do is go to that website, sign on, pay the $60, and set up your time. So there's another way you can talk to him. So, there's lots of ways. He has podcasts you can watch on Saturday at 9:30. He has questions and answers. He has office hours during the week. Sometimes he'll announce it. So you should join the school. We have a school that you can join. And again, that message will be played at the end of my podcast about join the school or join the 9:30 podcast. So those are ways. Now we've had some comments that need to catch up with you guys. Let me catch up where I left off at. Tessa says she just got a letter from her stating that I have seizures and they can look different. Yes, what you need to do is you need to have that doctor as a witness in court to testify that you have seizures that can make your actions look differently. Cruel Felicia says, during more than one visit, just me, they ambushed me for seeing. Yeah, see, I've already read these here. I've got to catch up here. Now, Amanda says, so I'm going over the paperwork for these affidavits and petitions, and our press get info and said the paperwork was modified by a text user. Well, that sounds kind of weird there. You need to show your attorney that. Tessa says she has a trial on January 2nd. I have to get suspended from my doctor and counselor. I have to get subpoenaed. Yeah, subpoenaed. I'm sorry. Cruel says, one day a social worker knew to me. That's right. I was on the playground with my babies. That's not the time to talk about your case when you're with your babies. And I'm glad you didn't sign anything because you need to have your attorney look at it. And that's the ploy there. The public faker got mad at me due to the fact that I wanted to read everything. Well, yeah, I know that's terrible. Cruel further said, I had to think fast. How was I going to read this thoroughly supervised babies and try? See, you should have just said, hey, look, I'm here for my visit. We can't talk about the case. I need my attorney to see what you're talking about. So I'm glad you took a quick picture and you can show your attorney, but they should just give you the documents. You don't need to sign them. But they shouldn't be doing that during your visit. Your visit's for your time with your child. So I know they keep doing that, and that's wrong, Felicia. That's wrong. On Valentine's Day, my social worker approached me at the beginning of my visit with a manila folder stamped legal as I struggled to wrangle my children baby's gear and visit essential. Okay, I'm telling you right now, do not, during the visit with your children, discuss the case. They have the same way. They have to respect that. You have a mail box. You can be given mail. You don't have to be handed anything. And on top of that, you need your attorney to see anything before you sign. You should never be forced into signing anything. You should never be forced into signing anything. I'm glad you're taking notes, Tessa. I want to give you so much help here. Felicia says, she barely said loud enough for me to hear anything to the effect of you've been served. Oh boy, that's wrong. If someone's going to serve paperwork, they can't be a social worker. They got to be somebody not privy to the action. That's illegal serving of anything. She's trying to intimidate you being served. If someone's going to serve you a legal document, they cannot be privy to the action, meaning when you are served a order to appear in court or served that you have to do something, it has to be by a person that's not part of the case. So what they did was wrong. What they did was wrong. Amanda says, if I was able to be a guest, can I show my paperwork? Sure you can. If you're on my show, you can hold it up to your camera. It will show your paperwork. It'll show your paperwork, okay? I'd love for you to be my guest. Now, when you call in, I can't put you on the camera, but that's another way there. Tessa says, what's the best way to prove things other than a witness? Well, the best way is a witness with with the supporting documents, pictures. If you have pictures or a videotape, let's say you documented a videotape. If you have a videotape of your seizures or how you were around your children and so forth, that could be entered into court. Videotapes and pictures and witnesses. Those are all good. Those are all good. Now, Felicia says, I never knew they could do that during visits. Yeah, well, they're not supposed to. Your visits are for your visits with your children. They tell you you're not supposed to talk about the case. By them serving papers, they're violating their own rules. They're violating their own rules. So I've caught up with the comments. I really appreciate them coming in. I'm hoping that they help you. You're dealing with the agency that you need to fight with the attorney, the right kind of attorney. That's why I keep referring to my rule number 1. You've got to get an attorney. Court-appointed or public defenders are not going to help you win your case. They're friends of the court. They play golf together. They have breakfast. They have lunches together. So you just really don't want to deal with them. They hope you take a public defender or a court-appointed attorney. They hope your children do too, because they can control everything. They control everything. And it's all for the basis of money. They want to make trillions of dollars, not billions, not millions, but trillion. It's $1 trillion business. It's where our government money is being spent, so much of it. Today, and I'm not sure if we're shut down today, because today was the last day they had to find some money because of their debt problem. But right there, they could, give money that's reasonable to help raise children, to help take care of children, but not trillions of dollars. In my case, in Orange County, it was like they were paying, the state was paying the CPS agency $20,000 per child per month. That's $60,000. That's way too much money. That's way too much money. Yeah, I understand, Felicia. I never knew they couldn't do that during the visits. There's a lot of things we don't know about CPS. You're not born with a manual about how to fight CPS. Your attorney will help you so much. Your attorney will help you so much. You do not talk to social workers unless your attorney is present. You don't let them in your home. You don't let anybody in your home. Too many people are being killed by answering the door. I mean, I was heartbroken by this black airman who's serving in the United States Air Force at the age of 23, was shot in the chest point blank by a sheriff from Gainesville Sheriff Department. Look it up. He was shot and he died on the phone with his girlfriend on FaceTime. What a tragic way to go. Here's a guy who serves his country. They had a mistake in place. And yes, the sheriff's being sued, but is that going to bring back the black airmen? No, it's not. And that's the sad part of things there. So don't open the door. That's my rule number 3, is you don't open the door to anybody. If you have families or friends, do a special knock, a special ring that you would recognize, oh, that's my neighbor or whatever it is. If it's important to talk to you or get in your home, they got a phone. They can call you if they know you, or they could send you some paperwork or leave some paperwork at the door. But you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Now, somehow my phone number disappeared. I don't know why it always does that. I've had to write my banner from my phone several times, and my mouse cursor is not working either. Let me see here. There it is. Okay. I got it back on. Hey, JD. I remember you from last night. Thank you for coming back. And I appreciate all the comments. Right now we have Leica from South Africa. Hello, Leica. How are you today? She calls me Uncle Bob because I say you guys are like my family. So I try to take care of. Leica is from South Africa. She has called all the way from South Africa in her dime. And she wants to tell her story one of these days that she get the phone going great. But so good to see you. Like your friend Lucy was on the other day, and she's from South Africa, and she was talking about her case too. So I'm here. It's about 20 minutes left of the show. We've talked about some of my rules. We've talked about how they're interacting in this podcast. Somebody asked you some really important questions. Yes, South Africa is a beautiful country. Yes, it is. I've been there. Fortunately, I've had 25 visits to South Africa. And it's a beautiful place. I've been out in the bush too. So CPS is everywhere. Whether you're in South Africa or in Alaska, or in Maine or in California or in Florida, wherever you're at, South America, it is a very tragic thing to go through because people are not there for the children or the family. It's been proven that the best parents are the biological parents. And if they have hiccups, they can be fixed. If they have a drug problem, they go through a program of drug rehab. But you see, what's really hurting CPS is President Clinton signed into law the Incentive Act, which that means is that they encourage the child protection system to have kids adopted in foster care. Reunification is on the back burner. They say it takes too long. So the federal government will give incentive money to the CPS if they get them adopted. So that is wrong. Families need to be together. If there's a problem with a family, it can be corrected. It just takes time. JD has a question. Do you think the marriage license creates a contract that grants the state's rights to your offsprings? No. No. A license is a way of making money off you, but also makes the marriage legal in a sense that you guys had a marriage proposal and you said your vows. It legitimizes marriage. Without that, you have a hard time getting financial aid, doing your taxes or those kinds of things too. So hold on a second here. But your offsprings, you see, the child protection system is mandated by Congress to protect, not steal our children, to protect our children from neglect and abuse. And a lot of it does go on. There are 1,000 unreported cases a day. I read horrific stories about a little girl that was raped by a 25-year-old man, ran away, lived with a group out in the forest, and died of exposure. She was brought still alive to the hospital, but they tried to revive her and they couldn't. And she's gone. There are so many stories. The story of a mom who decides to go on vacation and leave her, I think it was 14-month-old son in one of those bouncy chairs where you have activities. So for 13 days, she was gone on her vacation, and the child remained there with no food, no water, no diaper change. It was gross. And when she came back, she asked, "Why has my baby died?" She was that strange about it. So anyway, we do need to have our kids protected, but we need an agency that are properly trained. We need an agency that are educated through high school and college. I think they should have a degree in social work. I think they should have a minor in clinical psychology. Also, I think they should be given a license that has to be renewed every 5 years to keep abreast of the changes. My driver's license I have to renew 5 years. Well, doctors have license that have to be renewed. Lawyers have license that have to be renewed. So social workers should. And then they should mentor another social worker for 5 years before they're put on a case. I mean, that's how we should have social workers. I'll read the license. I have to go find my marriage license. This is in my folder here. So read the license, and I take your word for what it says. I didn't know it gave rights to your offspring. I got to read that. Amanda says, can a person that has your children that is in probate behind your back collect assets of living parents without that parents knowing? I have assets that make sense. Yes. Amanda, you're the one that brought up the life insurance, or SSI insurance. My daughter, who emancipated from the parents, sealed her birth certificate, got a second Social Security card, was collecting double dipping SSI. Boy, if Social Security found about that, they'd have a field day with the CPS agency. I know what you're talking about, Amanda. JD says reunification is a bunch of, well, I'm not going to use that kind of language, JD, but how long did it take for CPS to remove children from their home initially? They come out the same day they take them out. They use the same reunification methods that places them in CPS's care. Well, reunification is done right. May take a year or two, but it's for reasons that the child has been in danger or neglect. So many of the cases, the children is not neglect or in danger. So many of the kids are not in neglect or in danger. So I think it's a good thing. I just don't think the social workers are implementing it right. Your first priority is to do a settlement conference before you go to trial. They should try to settle matters. They should find a place, if it's necessary for the kids to stay apart, a family member, whether it's close by or another state. Also, these same social workers are supposed to help you in need of food or clothing or shelter or transportation or education or medical, even find a job. That's one of the responsibilities. That's one of the responsibilities. Tessa says, they caused my son hives because they didn't care to listen to me before taking him. He has allergies. You're right. You're right, that does happen. But you need to tell your attorney to get that across. You need to use your attorney. Amanda says, so what if my grandfather left me something? Would she be able to take that without my knowledge? It depends on how it was worded or how it was left. If it's left in the name of a child, they could, but your rights have to be terminated. If your rights are terminated, then they can do some things, but it's not legal. Again, you have to ask your attorney. You have to ask your attorney. Tessa says in 24 hours, he had hives all over his back and legs from the detergent or the formula. He has a milk allergy and sensitive to perfume and detergents. Oh, boy. I'm sorry to hear that. That is terrible, Tessa. That is terrible. Again, my phone number is up there if you want to call in, 626-6098-0990. That's my office phone. I love to have you talk. We have about 10 minutes left on my podcast, and I haven't anybody talk this morning. So I'll be looking forward to Leica from South Africa when she wants to tell about her CPS story and call in again. should try to call in the beginning of my show so you have a good time that you can talk. Some important other rules that we haven't talked about is one that is you're dealing with your paperwork. It should be all put in a notebook. You should get subject tabs and divide it up and put notebook paper in there, college rule notebook paper. There's a really important document you need to create. It's called a timeline incident log. What you're doing is that you're listing all the incidents that have taken place, either with the police, the CPS, other parents, the children, the school, the medical, whatever it is. You put the date, the time, the location, the people involved. Then the second line on the paper, you want to write a brief description of what the incident was about in one sentence. And then after that, you want to put the outcome of the incident in one sentence. And then you skip a couple spaces and do the next incident. They can be all kinds of incidents, but you'll need that information later when your court case goes 1, 2, 3 years, wherever it goes. Now, Felicia says, can I submit to the appeals court photos and videos of me and my babies to support my claim that losing a parent? Yeah, you can, but you want to go with your attorney. You got to talk to your attorney. He's the guy that will know what you can do or not do. If any of you are using a court appointed, you're going to have a problem there because they will not do that. They're not fighters. But you got to make them. If they won't do it, then replace them. You can request another one. Amanda from St. Louis, Missouri says, the social worker in my case, he was a child molester, child pornography, and he was working at the government office. I told that he was fired, but when I called his week, he just was working in there. I'm sorry to hear that. I know that there's another mother in here where a social worker did get fired. He was not necessarily a child molester. We didn't know, but he took a picture of a girl naked. And first of all, social workers should always come in pairs. They should never take pictures of children alone. And especially a male should not take a picture of a 13-year-old girl. That's wrong. That's wrong. But that was another case. Yours is a little bit different there, Amanda. Also a different department too. Okay. Different department, Amanda says. Now, going back to that incident log, fill it out accordingly. Also put in there your certificates, your program certificates, your parent classes certificates. Put your court papers. Organize it so you can find information easier. That's my rule number 2. Rule number 1 was the attorney. You got to have one. Because you see, you're interfacing with an agency. It's like you're Alice in Wonderland. You've fallen in the rabbit hole in the garden. You met the Chester cat. The Chester cat is directing you from one room to the next room. And it's bizarre. That's what CPS is. You're like Alice in Wonderland in a crazy world of CPS. In a crazy world of CPS. Also, fighting CPS is like open heart surgery. Open heart surgery. What that means, it's very difficult. They're not transparent. They don't like you as a parent. And they certainly don't like relatives, senior or elderly people. So Shannon further says, would it be wise for me to call the lawyer that signed the paperwork for probate that's representing the lady that has my children, or just wait to? You can't speak to another attorney if he's not the attorney you hired. You need to speak to your own attorney. I wouldn't talk to the other attorney. And the woman that hired that attorney works for her. And so what she's trying to do is she's trying to take full rights to your children. But you should talk to your own attorney about that matter. Amanda says the case is closed. I didn't know that this was going on behind my back. Yeah, that's terrible when you find out things. When your case is closed, the only thing you can do is sue them. You can sue anybody you want to, but you can sue the social worker that did something that violated your Constitution or your civil rights. And Amanda says she has no longer an attorney. I'm looking for one, probably going to end up representing myself. Well, pro se is one way you can fight it, but I don't know too many people who've been successful pro se-ing because they'll eat you up with life because the courts are very complex and the laws are very complex. And you need a lawyer breakdown to understand it and do what's right and things like that. Now we have a new person named Kiona Brown. Welcome, Kiona. I've been looking for an attorney. My kids were adopted out of, I guess she'll finish there. Kiona, what part of the world are you from? All I need to know is the city, the county, the state, or the country. Felicia says, so I created in one of my notebooks communication and contact between myself and all the agencies. That's good. Keep track of those in your notebook. I'm glad you're doing that, Cruel, which is Felicia. I still only have a court-appointed attorney. Well, I'm afraid to say that using a court-appointed attorney is not going to be very helpful, and I'm afraid you're not going to go very far. I had to sell my home to get my attorney, so it's a big sacrifice. But I love my children. I never want to say I'm not there for them. I tried a court. My wife tried one. It was terrible. It was, oh my goodness. It's like when you know that's doing wrong things to you. My case was wrong. And my attorney, got the social worker to do perjury in court. That was Mr. Davis. So it is hard. It is hard. Now, rule number 3, I talked about not opening the door, not talking to social workers and stuff. If you happen to meet social workers or police outside, you can tell that you can't talk anything further without your attorney present. By law, you can entitle to that. All legal matters, you're supposed to have representation through all the proceedings. Oh boy, Felicia did a research on her court-appointed attorney. Seems like my case type is a niche to her entire career. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It is sad. I believe it. And Kiona Brown says, same here, I was lied on. Kiona, I'm going to put up one of my passages here about when typing a message. Please show your first name, which is fine, Kiona, but I don't know what city or county you're from or state or country. So I'll leave that up for a few minutes there. Now, Cruel further said, she's been in appeals court for the same decade, so I have faith in her during the briefing process, but it's been dead silent since November 12, 2024. Eventually, the court-appointed attorneys will die. I mean, they're sad to say they just don't have any scruples. In fact, a lot of the judges don't have scruples. It's a really crazy world out there. Kiona's from Boston, Massachusetts. Thank you, Kiona. Thank you. Amanda says, my public liar, I Googled her and she has had her license is suspended. Well, sheesh. I know one for integrity violation of family and then not showing up for a judge during jury duty or something. Wow. Tessa says she'll call in tonight. I welcome you, Tessa. I know how hard it is for all of you that are going through this nightmare of a time with your case. My time is up and my computer is going haywire. And so I need to close down. I want to thank you all. My scroller, I can't read up above right now. Somehow all of it's disappeared. God, I just don't understand what's causing this problem with my keyboard. I want to thank all you listeners out there that have called in and participate. I want to thank Cruel, Felicia, Tessa, Amanda, Pink, and JD. I want to thank, who else? Leica from South Africa. I'm so glad that you called to say hello. And of course, JD, it's always good to hear from you. And Kiana Brown is the latest one that had called in. And thank you, Kiana Brown. So I'll be on again tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. God bless you all. Keep fighting for your kids. There will be a brief message from my attorney, Vincent Davis. Please listen. And this is Bob Pace signing off.
Feeling lost in the maze of CPS? Desperate to get your child back? You're not alone. Countless parents face the heart-wrenching reality of family separation. The legal system can be overwhelming, but there's hope.
Now, here's the key. Faith, that's how you win a 6-month hearing.
Thank you.
If you do all of those things, you're going to blow your social worker's mind, you're going to blow your attorney's mind, and you're going to blow away the judge.
With attorney Vincent W. Davis, a dedicated legal expert with 39 years of experience, committed to helping families like yours. Join his weekly live Q&A on Zoom, where you can ask your burning questions about CPS cases. Get the knowledge and strategies you need to fight for your child's return.
Alrighty, good evening everyone. This is a question and answer session for school, SKOOL, and this is the CPS school.
Are you ready to take control of your family's future? Join our school community for free to access weekly live Q&A sessions, or participate as a one-time guest. Don't let fear hold you back. Take the first step towards reuniting your family. Join us now.